I said, what's up, y'all? Look at me when I'm talking to you, bro. Nah, I'm just messing with y'all, man. This your boy Knockout Boxing 86 TV, and we in here. So check this out, bro. Before we get going on our video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, share the video, turn on your notifications, and go follow me on Twitter at KOBoxing86TV. If you got a breakdown or a prediction that you'd like me to do for you, knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com is the email address. And don't forget about our live shows. We live every Wednesday and Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You can also catch us live every Sunday morning with the Singing OG KQKC Boxing Network. Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. But let's go ahead and get it popping. Let's get into our video. And today, now Errol Spence is ducking Jaron Ennis. Terence Crawford fanboys is grasping for straws, bro. And it's pathetic, it's sad, it's weak. And anyone that has any boxing knowledge, anyone that calls themselves a content creator or a diehard boxing fan, it's just becoming laughable at this point. First and foremost, let's just talk about the sheer audacity of people, bro. How do you have the audacity to even hint at, to bring up, to talk about Errol Spence ducking Jaron Ennis when we all witnessed what Terence Bud Crawford just did? This man literally just pulled off one of the biggest ducks in boxing recent history that we have seen, bro. Like this one was huge. This man was in negotiations for undisputed. In negotiations to fight the biggest fight, not of just his career, in negotiations to fight the biggest fight in boxing. The most competitive, the most sought after, best fight, the best type of fight in recent memory. That's what he was negotiating and in position to, and this man went and fought a dude this guy is going to fight a dude that's got knocked out by a guy that he already knocked out. So the audacity of people that are fans of him to now somehow try to say that Errol Spence is ducking if he don't fight Jaron Ennis, shit crazy to me, bro. Shit crazy to me. And I'm not surprised, because a lot of these same people do not understand how boxing works. And so I'm going to help you understand it and explain it to you in this video, and why, if Errol Spence fights Ennis and not Jaron Ennis, I am going to be able to tell you why that's not a duck, because it's basic common sense and it's common knowledge if you're paying attention. Now, we all know there are 4 major sanctioning bodies in boxing: the IBF, the WBA, the WBC, and the WBO right now. And they all have what's called a mandatory defense. They go in order, and you can't skip the line. And if somebody is calling a mandatory, you can't call your mandatory at the same time as them. Now, when it comes to the welterweight division, the WBA, which is where Ennis is coming through because he's the regular champion, the WBA is up before the IBF. Because in February, if you remember, the WBA first ordered Yordenis Ugas to fight in a tournament. They wanted Butayev versus Jamal James, Stanionis versus Ugas, and then the 2 winners fight each other to see who is the WBA champion in the welterweight division. They ordered that in February of this year. Now, Errol Spence and his team were able to pay step-aside money to Stanionis in order to allow Yordenis Ugas to fight Errol Spence for a unification fight. Unification trumping mandatories and all of that, right? So that mandatory obligation that Yordenis Ugas still had to fight Stanionis, it's still there for Errol Spence since he beat Yordenis Ugas. So the WBA is up before the IBF. So both Stanionis and Jaron Ennis have confirmed, their teams have confirmed that they have both petitioned to fight Errol Spence. Both are great fights. I prefer the Jaron Ennis fight. It's a better fight. It's a more competitive fight to me. And unlike some of you dudes on here, I actually want to see the person that I support, which I support Spence and Boots. I think that's a closer fight than Spence and Bud. Like, I'm just keeping it real with y'all. You can say what you want. I believe Boots is more athletic, more dangerous, hit harder, more vibrant. Clearly, he's more hungrier. than Bud Crawford. Like, I think that's a tougher fight for Earl, to be real with y'all, and I want to see it. So that's the fight that I prefer. But knowing that the WBA is up and it's they turn in the rotation, that they called they mandatory way back in February. They called a mandatory for this way back in February, and IBF didn't call nothing. It's going to be the WBA. So if Errol Spence is going to fight either one of these two, it's going to be Montes Stanionis, not Jaron Boots Ennis. And it ain't because Errol Spence is scared of Boots. It's because that's who's next in the mandatory rotation. They've already mandated this fight way back in February. But Errol Spence was and his team was able to get, and Yordenis Ugas was able to get stuff to move around to where they were able to fight for a unification, but that mandatory never went anywhere. So before you get out here calling Errol Spence a duck and trying to flip narratives and grasping for straws and shit, understand what's really going on in the sport and going on in the welterweight division, bro. The WBA is up. Their mandatory is up next. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit crazy what some of you dudes are willing to do to try to protect this duck move by Terence Bud Crawford, bro. At the end of the day, quit throwing stones at the person that did everything they could to try to give us the fight that we all supposedly say that we want. Like, I never seen so many dudes claim that they want to fight. Say that this is the fight that they want to make. Tell us that they are going to boycott Spence versus Ugas because the only fight they want is Spence versus Crawford. But then when you get Crawford versus Avanesian and it's Crawford fight because he chose to pull out of negotiations with Spence, now you making excuses for Crawford fighting somebody else. Now you want people to support their fight. Now you talking about how Avanesian is top 10. He top 10 in every sanctioning body, but you didn't care that Yordenis Ugas was a champion though. He top 10 in every sanctioning body. Yordenis Ugas is top 10 in every sanctioning body, but you didn't care that Sean Porter was the actual champion when Earl fought. Avanesian, David Aspin, he top 10 in every sanctioning body. It's still a good fight. What y'all want Bud to do, it's still a good fight. But when Danny Garcia was number one in the WBC and a mandatory challenger for Errol Spence, you didn't care about rankings then, bro. You didn't care about that shit. Spence was ducking a fighter that didn't have a contract to y'all. Spence was ducking a fighter that never sent him an offer, that just talked a lot in the media. Y'all dudes like all that talking and shit. We about that action over here. When it's finally time to put the pen in paper and get it popping, your boy flaked out. Your boy ducked. Quit making excuses for that man and quit trying to turn that shit around and point it on somebody else. Errol Spence ain't did shit to let you know that he ducking no fade from nobody. Meanwhile, your man's Bud Crawford out here looking like a whole hoe out here, man. Just sucker move on top of sucker move. Like, we forgetting the fight is past me shit. We forgetting that. We forgetting the I agree to everything, but can you make changes shit? Like, we forgetting that. How we already moving to Errol Spence's ducking Jaron Boots Ennis when your man's just ducked Errol Spence? Bro, he fighting David Advil Aspirin, bro. And you got the nerve to talk about Spence on mandatories and shit, fighting mandatories when this man making a voluntary defense, not even a mandatory defense, bro. This man making a voluntary defense against David Advil Aspirin when he could be very well have been fighting for undisputed this year. But he kept pushing shit back and he didn't want to fight. But you want to somehow, not knowing nothing about how boxing works, not knowing nothing about how mandatories are called, you want to talk about Errol Spence's ducking Jaron Boots Ennis. But it's the WBA who's up next in the mandatory. Because they already called that shit way back in February when they put that whole tournament together and the tournament fell through. They still want their mandatory to be fought. So Montes Stanionis is probably going to get the Errol Spence fight if Errol want to stay busy and not wait on Bud. It's probably what's going to happen. It's a good fight. It's a better fight than David Avanesian, who's in his 30s, who's already lost twice at the highest level, who already got knocked out by somebody that the guy he fighting already knocked out. Montes Stanionis is undefeated, coming off the biggest win in his career. Young, hungry, lion, good inside fighter. Stuff that Spence is good at, he good at it too. Meanwhile, David Advil Aspirin, the book done been written on him. You already see how to beat him because he done lost twice. To Lamont Peterson, who Errol Spence knocked out. He done lost twice. He lost to Mean Machine, who Bud Crawford knocked out, and Mean Machine knocked him out. So stop this shit, bro. Stop trying to point fingers and try to make this shit about Errol Spence, bro. This ain't about him. This is about your boy now. This is about Terence Crawford, the fraud and the snake that cheated and lied to y'all, bro. Not just me. He cheated and lied to y'all. He had y'all out here capping for him. He had y'all believing that he was the boogeyman. But when it was time for the boogeyman to go to work, when the boogeyman ran into somebody that didn't turn around, that went to him and like, all right, you the boogeyman, let's get it popping, that man ran smooth in a different direction, man. So nah, bro, ain't nobody ducking Jaron Boots in. It's the only person that's a duck in this whole scenario right now, man, is Terence Bud Crawford. I know it hurt. I know you don't want to hear it. I know it make you mad, but these are just the facts of the matter, bro. And I'm staying on your neck. I'm staying on all y'all helmets because if Errol Spence did some sucker shit like this, we call that shit out over here, bro. We keep it all the way real, all the way a buck. If Errol Spence had announced the Keith Thurman fight while in the middle of negotiations with Terence Bud Crawford, we cooking him over here. If he had announced a David Avanesian fight like Terence Bud Crawford did and nobody knew about it and Bud Crawford and his team didn't even know Errol was negotiating another fight, we cooking him about it, bro. We going in on it. But y'all won't make excuses for this man, dog. Sucker shit. Sucker shit. And that's why y'all will never be able to mess with me, bro. But it is what it is, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Errol Spence ducking Jaron Boots in this to fight Imantas Stanionis. Crazy. Crazy. Learn how mandatories work and just look at the attitude of the person you talking about, man. Spence ain't ducking no fades, bro. That's why the people that rock with him. He ain't ducking no fade from no Jaron Boots Ennis, no Stanionis, no Terence Bud Crawford. As a matter of fact, I'd rather him fight Jaron Boots Ennis over Imantas Stanionis, but I know that ain't the way that mandatories work. That the IBF can't just skip the WBA when the WBA is next in line, bro. The shit don't work that way. So stop that shit, bro. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Comment down below, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, turn on your notifications, follow me on Twitter at KOBoxing86TV. If you got a breakdown or a prediction you want me to do, knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com is my email. And don't forget about my live shows. We live every Wednesday and Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time with the singing OG KQKC. I appreciate y'all watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. And with that, we up out of here. Peace out, y'all.